This is gonna be funny and heavy at the same time. How do you want to deal with your dead body after you die? I've heard throw the ashes from the airplane. I've heard dump it into the ocean. I've heard freeze your brain so you can come back to life one day. One guy in China, he built his tomb the size of San Francisco at the depths of 30 floors underground. His name is Qin Shi Huang. I started research about this guy. He's one of the greatest emperor in Chinese history. Around the time of 200 BC. He used his power and talent to extreme to achieve his personal and national-wide ambition. I'm gonna share 3 things about him today with you guys. First is his mausoleum. Second is how he built constructions to benefit his land and his people. And third is his political achievement. First, let's look at his mausoleum. His mausoleum is a total masterpiece and a mystery. We only opened 2% of the whole thing because we don't have the technique to reserve what we're gonna found. The paint on the soldiers would peel off into ashes within 4 minutes of in contact with air. Some of the interesting scientific findings on the soldiers also include if you put their face in database, you will learn that they're actually real existed human beings, even each individual ears. And there's 8,000 of them. Now let's take a deep look at the core of the mausoleum where the coffin of the emperor is in the center. Quoted by National Geography 2021, the Asian books indicates the tomb contains replicas of the area's rivers and streams made with mercury flowing to the sea. Modern tests on the tomb mound have revealed unusual high concentration of mercury, lending credence to at least some of the historical account. Now that you learned how he loved himself to death, let's look at how he built great things for his people. And one of the things is one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Great Wall. The Great Wall accomplished in Qin Shi Huang's time was 5,500 miles, which is 2 times of the distance from LA to New York City. To be honest, I was never that impressed because I grew up looking at the pictures and videos. Until one day I went there into the massive, massive mountains and saw it with my own eyes. We have an old saying in China, if you've never been into the Great Wall, you can never be a great man. I know, but you know the point. He also decided he wanted to connect the whole China without cars, airplanes, or train. So he used horses, and we can still see some of his work until this day. He also built hydraulic engineering projects. This one, Dujiangyan, is still one of the most advanced dam in the whole wide world and is listed in the World Heritage List in 2000. Now you know he is capable of building massive constructions. That indicates he's good at leading and management, right? Let's look at his political achievement as an emperor. First, he united China, and it was 200 years before the Roman Empire. Quote from BBC News 2012, before Qin, Chinese multiple states were diverging rather than converging. They have different calendars, their writings was starting to vary. We wouldn't have a China without Qin Shi Huang, says Harvard University's Peter Bao. After he united China, he also built a strong system. An article from Smithsonian Magazine 2009 wrote, the emperor standardized weights and measurements and introduced a uniform writing script. He collected taxes, administrated justice, and he had trained bureaucrats all over China. There's a lot of great emperors, But Qin Shi Huang is one of a kind. He used his extraordinary talent and power to the extreme to achieve his personal and national-wide ambition. We first looked at the mausoleum, and then we get to know the constructions he built, including the Great Wall, the roads, and the dam. Lastly, we briefly introduced his political achievements. Have you ever wondered what happened to Qin Shi Huang? At last, his dynasty only lasts 13 years, which makes the shortest dynasty in Chinese history because he overused his power and his people. But the achievement and the foundations he set benefit the generations to come.